with another. So, everybody, I wanted to give a reintroduction of myself because I see my page is growing and I love that for us, right? Originally, I think like, cause I'm not the type of person that really likes attention. So, but I like to inform my people. So if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I try to pour back into my community, right? And I do it there. I started there because that's my family. If I follow you on Instagram and you're my friend on Instagram, most people that I accept or have given my Instagram to, right? I want to be able to access you when I can't access you because it was something that drew us together in this lifetime. So I made that platform the outlet to reach my people, right? And I wanted to reach them, the ones that really wanted to learn, on another platform where I can really elaborate what I'm saying. So YouTube gives you that opportunity, that ability, right? Now, did I expect my page to grow? Yes, obviously, and yes, obviously, if you're going to put it on a platform, other people are likely to see it. Was that my intention? Not necessarily, but if it can help the masses or help just a few people, then I'm here for it. What I will say is I don't like attention. So too much energy for me is just too much energy for me. So, and I'm not like one for negativity. I've never really been a negative person. So, negative comments, you'll never see me reacting to. Because I don't think that negativity deserves a response. Or I'm not a child anymore. When I was a child, you act as a child would with no knowledge, right? No emotional intelligence. So I have enough emotional intelligence not to accept or tolerate disrespect or give disrespect reaction. Because what I see with the internet is there's a lot of trolls on the internet. So people will come on there and they feed off, like people who are negative, they feed off negativity. So, and people are positive, feed off positivity, right? I feed off positivity. So any little ounce of negativity, I have my own opinion in my mind, but I'm not going to react to you. I'm not going to give you that satisfaction of reacting to you, right? And I'm not one for the algorithm. I put things over algorithm. So some people be like, negativity is good for the algorithm, right? That's not really my forte. I'm not here for the algorithm. I'm here for the people. I know that with the things that I say and the way that I speak, it's going to trigger, that's why this is called triggering truth, a lot of people. One, how you perceive things is how you perceive things, right? So what I'm saying may not be how you perceived it. How I perceived what I said was, or communicated, you didn't perceive it how I said I was trying to relay the message. That's on you. That's not on me. Right? So I want to make one thing clear. I don't have no problem with no Native Americans. Right? Native American culture is a diverse culture. It's a culture of diversity. If you watch my episode, you will see that it's a culture of diversity. Many people were on this land, diverse people. The black natives would even fight with the Mongoloid natives. All right? And don't worry, I will insert that clip here. And the blacks of Darien, the Spaniards wrote martyr, found Negroes in this province. They only live one day's march from Cacarica. So somebody would say, there's some niggas on there. And just down the street, there's some Indians.
having some black Aboriginal people here. That's absolutely correct. When all of the European explorers came here, Columbus's brother, Pizarro, Balboa, every single one of them said that they saw black-skinned people here who looked like the same people who were in Africa. Almost every single one of them. We get the notion that a Native American is the mongoloid-looking person, which is just one variation of the Aboriginal people here. They would use the red-skinned natives many times to be pitted against the black-skinned Aboriginals. They were the ones who were helping to capture some of the black-skinned Native Americans and Aboriginals.
Okay. Under the shadow of Coatrica, they came upon an Indian settlement where, to their astonishment, they found a number of war captives who were plainly and unmistakably African. They were tall, black, of military bearing, who were waging war with the natives from some settlement in the neighborhood. So they're saying that these African people, right, because they just had to be African because they were black, were waging war upon Indians. Balboa asked the Indians whence they got them, but they could not tell, nor did they know more than this. That men of this color were living nearby. They were constantly waging war with them. These were the first Negroes that had been seen in the Indies. All right. But besides that, because I think that was, when it came to the last feedback, it was about Native Americans, right? Black people aren't Native Americans. I think that you should do your research, right? I'm not going to argue with you if you haven't done your research. Sir, ma'am, whoever. I've done my research, right? And unlike, I'm free-flowing right now, and I'm not reading off of a lecture, right? So if you go back to my previous episodes, like I said, if you watched my video, you would see, she talks about Native American people here, and then she talks about ancient Egypt, Africa here, and then she talks about the American Negro timeline here, right? All of those are lectures from books that I've read. When I say this to people all the time, right? I read these books from university libraries. See, I started at the public library. And one thing I noticed about the public library, all the books were new. I don't want to read no new books for real. I want to go back into time. So you know what I did? I went to the university library. When I went to the university library and I seen 4 rows that said Native American. That was the biggest, when it comes to history, right? You got, I think one section is like Civil War maybe, and then you have African or Egypt and African aisles, right? It's like 2 of those aisles. And then right next to those aisles are the Native Americans. So I'm going, and I'm like, it's 4 aisles of this. That's a lot of information. Then I go, and then it's American, U.S. history, and then it's Black history, right? All of these are two rows, but the Native American section is 4 rows. Ancient American. Right? So I start grabbing books. I start flipping through the pages, start reading, right? First, I went to Columbus because I heard that Columbus encountered black folk when he got here. Not here, but when he got to the islands, right? Because that's another thing. He wasn't here. So let's be clear, right? But if there were black people in those islands are very close to, our South. Are you telling me those people couldn't have migrated because they supposedly migrated to those islands, right? Depending on what you believe. Like, I'm also not here to tell you what to believe, right? There's a lot of different theories out here. I've said that in my episodes. What theory do you follow? Right? I follow the ones that make the most sense to me. I try to use logic and reasoning. Right? And then I'm also open. That's why you're able to obtain and retain knowledge when you're always open to new things. So you need to open your mind to be open to new things. So when I hear people say, we all know Columbus didn't discover America, right? There were already people here, so that's the first fabrication, right? So now you have to figure, okay, well, who was here? Because you telling me it's these people. And I'm not saying it's not these people. But I've got a whole bunch of Native American friends who say that they're Native Americans. And none of their ancestors look like you. Right? Maybe a little bit of features. For some look completely like myself. Right? So you want me growing up to laugh at these people because you black. How could you be Native American? That's indoctrination. So when I first heard somebody say that we were here before, I didn't take it. So no, growing up, I always said, there's no way. How do they know that these people were, who was who? Look how big this country is. I haven't even been across the whole country. Now, I've been across the whole country from New York to California, but I haven't visited every place in between, right? To know who inhabits those lands. And I have more capabilities of doing that now than they did before. So how you gonna tell me from West Coast to East Coast to the North to the South that all these people were these people? All right. So as a kid, that was my first question. Right? And where do these people come from? Right? So when I first heard somebody mention it, I said, you know what? Let me go and do my research. So like I said, they recommended some books. So if you recommend some books, I'll read your books. I also have books that I can recommend, right? And I'll put a list together because like I said, I'm in these school libraries. And some of the time when I first started, I wasn't writing every book down, which is what I should have done, right? But it's nothing to me to go back. Either find these books again or just type in the words. And if they come up, they come up. Some of them do, some of them don't. But when I start reading these books and start seeing the comparisons, of Ethiopians and Native Americans from what voyaging people came and seen, right? Settlers, migrants, whoever, whatever, colonizers, whatever, right? Outside of Christopher Columbus. And these people said they went to Maine, the Carolinas, they went here, they went there, Oklahoma. They were all over these places, right? And they seen, some of them were the islands as well. Some of it was Mexico, right? And they said that they seen people that look like Ethiopians. You cannot now, you've trying to dispute all of this. You're Native Americans because they mixed with you, right? And during slavery, right? We was here before slavery, right? So if it's some mixed ones, could it possibly be two mixed Native American tribes? But no, because you're black. You're from Africa. But then you same people will say that these people migrated from Eastern Asia and Asia. And then you'll say that Africans migrated from Africa to the Americas. But you'll only call one of those groups Native Americans. I just want you to make it make sense for me. Right? You don't ask the Aborigines to identify as Africans. The Aborigines won't even identify as Africans. They'll say, from my experience, and if you watch my other episodes, you'll see exactly what they told me, is that they are closer to Asia than Africa. Some will say they migrated out of Africa 70,000 years ago. Some of them will say they were never in Africa. It would be classified as your Melanesians. But some of them are as black as you and I. But you don't ask them to identify as anything besides an Aborigine. Why is that? Please. Aren't the Sans people Aborigines? Because they're the oldest tribe that we can trace back? I'm just saying. Sounds like it's a worldwide Aborigine thing going on here for me. Because then what about the Ethiopians? Who we say is the first inhabitants of humanity. Right? You see my Ethiopian flag up here? I would love to visit Ethiopia. And I think that they are doing something so that we do not have access to that land. And that's why I am here for a worldwide Aboriginal movement. So I want you to know what I'm here for when I say I love everybody. I love my people. I don't want to beef with none of y'all. When I say none of y'all, I mean none of y'all. It doesn't matter where you're from. Right? It doesn't matter if you're from the US of A, from freaking Canada to Florida to Michigan to Ohio to Vegas, Nevada to down the street Los Angeles or anywhere outside and in between. From Jamaica to Grenada to St. Lucia to the Bahamas, because I love you people. I love y'all. The energy, right? Some people don't like the Bahamas. Well, you didn't reciprocate the same energy that I reciprocated because it was all good for me. Right? It's bridging that gap. Right? To Africa. Right? Angola, Mali, Ethiopia, Sudan, South Africa. I know what my people are enduring there in South Africa. To the Congo. We see how our people are getting treated in the Congo. Regardless if you're a Hamite or an Israelite, it doesn't matter to me. Or if you're from the Nation of Islam, it doesn't matter to me. Right? It's too much division. You see all these boxes you got to check? I'm not checking no boxes. I told myself that I've committed myself not to checking a box because that doesn't sound like freedom to me. It sounds like bondage. It sounds like I can't collaborate with my brother and sister because I'm checking this box and they checking that box, and now we cannot unite together. Right? I think that's only my introduction. The introduction. Because I first wanted to open it up by saying, and I think that they're already with me, the ancestors and the Most High, the Creator, the Creatress, to walk with me while I walk down this mission, an introduction, and go over the necessary topics that I want to go over. my reintroduction to self, because we evolve, right? This is new life. This is me ascending. So every time I ascend, I think that I should come back and have a conversation like I am and reintroduce my new self. You've seen, if I didn't archive the video, my first introduction of self. I'm probably a completely different person. 2 years ago, a completely different person, right? Because we evolve. And when I say not a completely different person, I won't say a completely different person, but you'll see things are ascending, right? On its way up. So, like I said, I want to give all thanks to the ancestors and the Most High, the Creator, the Creatress, right? For giving me this opportunity. Because an opportunity has been given and an opportunity is being delivered, right? A message to be delivered. All right, we all have a purpose. We have to take advantage of those purposes in our life. We have to find a purpose, right? There's a lot of people who are walking around without a purpose. But I want you to know that you absolutely have a purpose. And with that purpose, what you do with that purpose will lead you to your fate, all right? Your destiny. Some of you guys are living in bondage. The only way to escape from bondage is to find your purpose. And I want to come back to that because I want to add on that later. But right now, what I want to add on is people talking about religion, right? That's another thing. I don't check a religious box either, because I feel like it's divisive as well. I feel like every time somebody has said something, the religious text, right? Like I said, I've read the Torah. I have the Torah right here. The Quran, the Ethiopian Bible. I have the Book of Enoch. I have Elijah Muhammad. Where's that book at? It's to the black man, but Yaqub, the story about Yaqub. The Holy Bible, right? I don't discriminate. Because some of you will not read this literature, right? History, right? Because it does not align with your religious gangbanging. I have no animosity towards anybody's religion besides the ones that are not of the Most High. And there are religions that are not of the Most High. Let's be correct, right? And some of these religions that are of the Most High have now been infiltrated, as we can see, worldwide, right? So it's for the people within the religion, right? The real ones that are within the religion to denounce what the heck is going on. You don't always have to stand with the people when the people are corrupt, because that's complicit, right? If I do not denounce my brothers and my sisters and hold them accountable for their actions like I intend to do and have been doing, I'm not coming correct. See, we have to be able to take accountability. That's my problem right now, is that we're not able to take accountability for our actions. You know what you do. You know what you've done. You know what you hide in your heart, right? And some of you are living with that. But some of you continue to walk down those paths that you know are destructive. So if I don't call you out for that, then I'm not being a good brother or sister, right? Because that's what we should be to each other, good brothers and sisters, right? Hold me accountable. Hey, sis, right? Try to walk in a path of as much righteousness as possible. We all have our slip-ups, but I'm walking with intention. Some of you guys don't have the intention, right? You have to have the intention to do right by your people. We got to stop walking past each other with our heads down, don't want to speak, mean mugging. Why are you mean mugging me? I don't know you. I don't know you. And if you knew me, you would know we ain't never going to be. Because I don't do beef. Right? I want you to heal. All the beef and animosity that y'all have against each other is the need to heal. You so messed up though that you don't even see that you need to heal. You live in a state of anger and fear because you got to look over your shoulder because of the actions that you have done. Right? But my problem is that some of you influence generations beneath you.
We got thieves right here.
What y'all look? Why y'all out here like that though?
Bitch ass niggas, they plug down now. They ain't gonna come down here. They ain't gonna do shit on phone now. Fuck y'all now.
Damn, why y'all wilding like this though?
We gonna fuck somebody else.
How old you is behind the mask?
Fuck y'all.
How old you is? How old you is? Damn, that's how y'all go? Damn, y'all little niggas crazy, bro. Y'all ain't gonna rob me or nothing, y'all.
And you're not lifting them up, right? You know you're in fear, but they don't know. Because you're talking about sliding on your ops and making it look cool. And you can talk about the parents all you want, but everybody's not being raised by a single mom and a bad mom and a bad father and an abandoned father, right? Some of these kids are being raised in the suburbs and going to school talking about sliding on their ops. Sir, you don't have any ops. What are you talking about? I was just behind two kids in the store and I didn't know that they were kids. Talking about they from Chicago and talking about all these rappers and all the giving back to the community some of the rappers was doing. But all you're doing is a toy drive. That's not giving back to the community. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, giving back to what community? Couldn't it be this one? When the hoods that they bang is living in poverty. They're not over there teaching them no financial literacy. This could not be giving back. Because giving back is not always materials. Giving back is the knowledge that you obtained to reach the level that you reached, but you don't want to see people at the same level as you because you're a gatekeeper. Oh, them niggas over there in poverty. Couldn't be me. And then you wonder why they try to get you. Because they're upset, my brother. Lift your people. Right? Accountability. Selling drugs, sex, fornication, all this. But then go receive an award and say, first of all, I want to thank God. What God? Whose God? Couldn't be my God. Because you guys try to make excuses for your behaviors. Right? Try to make excuses for your degenerate behavior and leading your people astray. It's not only one devil you got to worry about. You got to worry about your own people too, leading you astray and not trying to help you rise up. Right? That's why they say there's a conscious community And I don't even subscribe to any communities, like I said, but some of that community is the ones that's trying to help us rise up. But even now we're seeing, and we'll get to that later as well, because that's a topic I want to get to, is collaboration and not the hater nation. Okay? But going back to the biblical holy text, all right? I know I went off. Just know I just be going off sometimes. I just be having to go off because something is leading me to that topic. But that's why I like when it's an authentic conversation, because it's not, script. This is just me. Back to the holy text, I subscribe to the Most High. May these be history collections, right? That's how I read them, like they're history books. Now, you guys don't have to, right? You guys don't have to. I'm not trying to push religion on you, but do not push your sky daddy, whatever you try to push on people, right? Like, respect people's what they do. I respect you if you don't believe in the Most High. I'm sorry, right? Because if it only gave you hope, at least it gave you that. But like I was saying, if at least it gave you hope, at least it gave you that. Because some of y'all just need hope. Some of y'all don't have no hope. And when you read these texts, and that's why I don't let people read them to me, is because I don't want you to tell me your perspective. All right? Like I said, everything earlier is about perspective. So you may think I'm disrespecting Native American people, or what you think is a Native American or a tribe, one Native American tribe, all right, outside of my own. That's not what I'm doing at all. I just know that my history was suppressed. So we should take pride in our culture, right? Even if our culture is colonized and dismantled, right? And I'm going to get into that later as well. But I believe in the Most High, the Creator, Creatress. I believe that we possess, like when people say, we are gods, right? Because we are made in God's image, right? You don't make somebody in your image, right? Image is a very strong word, right? Let's even look it up, see what pops up when we put in image. Image. A representation of the external form of a person or thing in art. A representation of the external form of a person or thing in art, right? We are made in the Most High's image, and you don't think that you possess the greatest gifts in the universe and beyond. You can't tell me that you believe, right? You can't tell me that that's not going to give you hope. You telling me the Creator who created strawberries, mangoes, and watermelons? What are we talking about? That created elephants, lions, chimpanzees, primates. You telling me, right? You guys are only thinking about evolution scientifically, when even scientifically evolution sometimes uses holy texts. But and holy texts even mention science and medicine, etc. Right? So, these messages, right, are historical texts for me, for you to be able to find yourself. Because when you read these holy texts and not let them interpret, like I said, I don't let people interpret what I'm reading, because most of you guys went to a school to get indoctrinated, right? What I will do is listen. And if it aligns with my thoughts or my perception, then I can say we on the same page. Because when I read holy text, you guys say it was supposed to normalize people being in bondage, right? That's not how I read it, though. When I read it, it empowers me. Now, does it mention people being in bondage? Yes. Bondage right now. And you act like you're not. You're not a free man. Let's get this clear. I hate to laugh, but some of you guys think you're free. You won't be free until you take your freedom back. Right? And we can't do it without you. It has to be a collective decision. It can't just be one of us saying, hey, I want to be free. Right? I could be free, but I only can be free as my brothers and sisters. Because there's things that if you don't do will hold me in bondage still. And use your mind and think about what that could be financially, economically, right? Spiritually, psychologically. You're only as strong as your weakest soldier. We see some of our weakest soldiers, damn, you holding us down. Right? Some of y'all is getting cut. But it's not enough people yet risen. We need more. And we need consistency. So, let the book give you the faith that you need. Because I read about my people being free. That's what I read. About when my people going to be free. And your time is coming. I don't care if you practice African spirituality, because I hear that when I listen to Dr. Umar describe it, it sounds the same to me. Be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you. It sounds very similar to me. We're just using different names sometimes. All right. So I'm going to read from the holy text. This is in the Torah. First 5 chapters. Numbers 12 and 6. This is the Lord speaking. He said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, do make mistake. And this is from Numbers chapter 12, verse 6. And he said, this is the Lord, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, do make myself known unto him in a vision. I do speak with him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so. He is trusted in all my house. With him do I speak mouth to mouth, even manifestly, and not in dark speeches. and there with thee. And I will come down and speak with thee there. And I will take of the Spirit which is upon thee, and I will put it upon them. And they shall bear the burden of the people with thee, that thou bear it not thyself. And say thou unto the people, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow, and ye shall eat flesh. For ye have wept in the ears of the Lord, saying, would that were given flesh to eat, it was well with us in Egypt. Therefore the Lord will give you flesh, and ye shall eat. Right? So, if there is a prophet among you, this is what you take. The Lord is saying, I do come among him. The vision, I do speak with him in a dream. Right? I speak to him mouth to mouth, and sometimes manifestly. So God can come to you in all forms. Do not ignore the signs. And I find that to be true because if you watched my last episode, you would know my own experience. So, with that being said, that's why I like when Dr. Umar said African spirituality, unlike all these other religions, and that's why I say you have to take what you, like what I do is I take what I don't think was altered, right? I'm like, why it always got to be a he? It's not my experience. So when Dr. Umar says things like African spirituality, it's not a patriarchy. Woman can take the place with the creator as well as prophetess. And all I'm saying is we have to open our minds. Because when I look around the world and I see certain men, how they lead the world, and I'm like, ain't no prophet. I don't see a prophet amongst me. I'm not going to say I don't see none, but when I look at the majority of the situation, it's like a lot of ego-driven situations happening out here. And that can't be a leader of the people. So, and let me shout out the ancestors. Get into how I got on my vision, on my mission, since this is supposed to be my introduction, which I'm going to have to put stuff in certain places. But my introduction is, I was brought up in a home where I was allowed the freedom to think. Right? Like in my house, and my dad listened to reggae growing up. My uncle, is all about blackness or so-called blackness, right? Africa, America, blacks in America, Native Americans. His son is a Native American. So, black, right? Mom lived on the reservation. Like, what are we talking about? When you come on here and act like I don't have no representations of Native Americans in my own family that look like myself, stop it. If you watch my furthest episodes, you'll know like my family history, right? You'll know that my grandfather, not my biological grandfather, but he's a Native American, black man. So, you must stop it. So with that being said, growing up, they taught us about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. I always resonated with Malcolm X. I always say Martin Luther King. Malcolm X, right? That was my guy. I love the way he thinks. I love his philosophy. I love the way he moved, militant, studious, intellectual, and on business for his people. Right? He said what he said, and he meant what he meant. So I loved, he wasn't submissive and docile. I don't like those type of people. Just want to be in bondage. Just want to be up under the massa. Alright, no, for what? Alright? Other than that, the Black Panthers, probably one of my biggest influences. I can't say which one is at the number one spot, but I grew up like, yeah, we got to be militant. And look what these people, they standing on business. And they out here feeding the community, right? Why it's free lunches now? You want to talk to me about a toy drive? A 10-point program, which I have, 2 of them. About resources for me. But there's many things that I want to do for my community. And that's all I think about is my community, because my community is holding me in bondage. So I understand that some of you guys, I've seen some of the comments, and they said, you got to let people go. You got to let them go. Like, they'll bring you down, and you can't just waste your time. You can't be wasting your time with certain people. And I hear that. I hear all of that. But the difference, is there's not. It doesn't. The weight that feels like is holding me down is that the people need to be free for me to be free. Right? Nobody is free until we all are free. And I think that's what I need you guys to understand. So it can't be let them people just go. Not how it works. And that was my vision with the Most High, because I thought about it. Don't think I didn't think about it. All right, we just got to separate. We just got to separate. And God said, no. And I had it on my board for the longest time. No surrender, no retreat. Like Marcellus. Let's see what Marcellus. Let's enter that. Because I just heard 19 Keys say, Marcellus said was so empowering that he left us with this message, right? When most people are executed, the message that they leave you with is something like, I can't breathe, or, something that leaves the people with psychological trauma. But Marcellus, like the good, devout Muslim man he is, left the people with a message. Because you can't be afraid to not surrender, not retreat. Because to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord, they say. And if you're a prophet, you will probably be brought back to this earth with a mission. But some of the afterlife for some of y'all is going to be magnificent. What are we talking about? You're going to be in paradise. So what are you mad about? What are you in fear of? So Marcellus left us with this message. That, to me, his mission was to get you guys to accept that we all have to leave this host. This is a host, right? Your avatar. And when you leave your avatar, something greater becomes of some of us, not all of us. That's why you gotta get right. So I'm telling y'all gotta get right. And some of y'all will just be brought here in a different vehicle. And it says that too, and I believe that. You'll be brought here. You'll be brought here in a different vehicle because one, you did not complete your mission. Find your purpose. All right, I said that before. You'll be brought here in the same or worse conditions if you do not get right. So some of you are in good conditions, and when you come back, you'll be in worse conditions. And some of you are committing the worst conditions, and you'll be brought back to those conditions of poverty. Right? If you don't get right, because there's no excuse now. You can't say you don't have the knowledge. The knowledge is there. You know right from wrong. You know wrong from right. So Marcellus, on his mission out, because he knew, serve my purpose. This is my mission, is to tell you all this. And his last and final words before execution was Marcellus Williams' words. Marcellus Khalifa Williams' words. Final words were, all praise be to Allah in every situation, he wrote in his final statement. All praise be to Allah in every situation. He knew that that was his mission, his purpose. Like I said, the man was supposed to be exonerated. The family was even showing empathy, right? And it's because that man was innocent. Now, his past life, I don't know. And I don't need to know. All I know is that when you take a vow to do your job and you don't do your job correctly, regardless of what the outcome, right? The YSL trial. If you do not do your job correctly, that's on you. Free that man. And if that man be a vigilante, I pray that God can touch his heart so that he doesn't end up in this situation again. Right? But you were supposed to do your job. I don't want you to imprison innocent black men and women because you failed to dot your I's and to cross your T's. That's on you. And when a man is proven to be innocent, he should be freed. Period. I don't care how much money it costs. If you can send money to Ukraine, and you can send money over here, and you can send money over there for aid for your allies, they're telling you that you are not an ally. These other countries have more, and these other people, forget the countries, the people who are getting reparations in your country, bills passed in your country, but you ain't getting shit. The math ain't mathing. But all praise be to Allah in every situation, because the people shall rise. Are you ready? Is the question. Because all it takes is your energy, right? Not your fear. Some of you guys are led by fear and you're not trying to say it. Some of you guys are led by fear. Some of you are gangsters, perpetrating as gangsters, and you are in fear. Right? Like I said, you are leading the kids astray. Little boy in the store talking about, I'm from Chicago. I'm going to tell you what he said. He said, man, Chicago, if people stand next to you too close or come up over your shoulder, you get shot. Listening to the conversation. I'm behind them, listening to the conversation. The girl running around loud, talking about whatever. Just sounding crazy. Nothing intelligent at all. Right? He like, I ain't fighting nobody. I'm shooting shit. There was a lady walking by. Caucasian, Hispanic. I think she might have been Hispanic. Latina, Mexican, don't know. Native American, don't know. Mongoloid, right? So I don't want y'all to be with the semantics. She walks by and she's like, why do you have to shoot? People need to learn how to fight. And I said, exactly. So he turns around like, I said, people need to learn how to take that ass whooping and put them paws up. Like, what's shooting shit gonna do for you? He said, I'm skinny, I can't fight. Or no, I don't even think he said I can't fight. He said, I'm skinny. First of all, what does skinny have to do with anything? I know skinny dudes that got hands. What you need to do is stop acting like somebody that you're not and train. Right? Everybody is not a shooter. I don't even know why you're trying to be that. Right? What you need to do is pick up a book and stop letting these people lead you, because I know that you're only repeating what the people said. And if you listen to Little Durk even said, that's dead. That stuff is dead, right? Because he tired of looking over his shoulder too. He like, I got all this success. I still got to look over my shoulder. Feel me? Now what you supposed to do with it? And I want him to be an advocate. And I think that he has been for the people, because they've seen him in cases. They say he got shell shock. I hate that for him. I really do, because that's trauma that you have to unpack. And that's a lot of trauma to unpack. And I don't know if you can get there in a lifetime. So being an advocate for the youth to stop glamorizing that type of behavior is a necessity for the healing of our community. That's why when we talk about dismantling hip hop and abolishing it, right? And that's something that may have to be done, because we are letting people run these companies that aren't even melanated. Make it make sense. They're telling you what you can and cannot talk about. And you talking about what you're talking about so that you can influence people, because that's what they like. But they only like it because you've popularized it. So now it's your time to popularize something else. Right? Talking about sex, drugs, money, fornication, prostitution. They can't sell to our community anymore. Right? They not like us. So a lot of y'all are being colonizers, like Kendrick said. It ain't just Drizzy. Let's be real. Have to rise above the images. Images are important in our community. You should watch Developing Positive Self-Images and Discipline in Black Children by Jawanza Kanjufu. Dr.
Remains the same. I believe the children are actors, and they act out what they see in us. If the teaching 201 cannot get along to teaching 203, we have the exact same problems with children. If parents tell their children don't do as I do, but do as I say, they have not taught them what's correct. They're taught them to be inconsistent. I repeat, children are actors, and they act out what they see in us. And I believe my workshops can be informative, but they cannot change attitude, and I'm very disappointed about that. I work hard with regards to research, but certain things cannot be changed, especially with regards to attitude. What am I getting at? As we begin to look at trying to close the gap or improve Black student achievement, my major concern is you cannot teach a child that you do not love. And there are large numbers of children in classrooms where they are not loved. I also believe you cannot teach a child you do not respect. And there are large numbers of Black children in classrooms where they are not respected. And then last but not least, I also believe you cannot teach a child you do not culturally understand. In other words, we have integration, should I be clear, desegregation. But we have many teachers who do not understand the culture of Black children. And you cannot teach a child you do not culturally understand. The program is called Closing the Gap, trying to close the gap between Black and white student achievement.
Jawanza, right, which has a lot of great lectures. So shout out to him. So, and that's a program that we should all be following when we talk about following programs. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to turn the industry into. All right? We are responsible for raising up a nation, bro. We are only going to be strong as our nation. So if we look at other communities and the things that they are successfully doing in their communities, it all has to do with something, for some of them, self-sufficient, right? Right? When we talk about the Mexicans, they have mastered agriculture, right? They got farms all over the place. Farming. And we have a few, but we need more of that. And manufacturers, clothing manufacturers, we all got to get dressed. We need the manufacturers to distribute the high quality cloths, because we want to separate ourselves, right? There's certain things that we should be wearing to show that we rise, right? Image is important. So we can't be dressing like just anything out here. We got to look sharp, like, ooh, look at them. And some of y'all do, but it's Amiri, Louis, Gucci. But I've seen some of our brothers and sisters and what they put together, right? WizKid, Burna Boy, or Cousins, or, whatever, how they dress. Breezy sometimes. They dress like they own that. And that's what we need to be. Every time we step out, look at those people rising up. Self-image for the youth. Not just walking around looking like whatever, whenever. Self-image for the youth. Have to understand that we are the strongest people psychologically out here. Let's be all the way 100. Yeah, we have fallen further than we have fallen, right? Ever before. When we talk about going back to who we were, right? Talking about my samosas and Haile Selassie's and Malcolm X's and all of these people, the Olmecs, the pharaohs, kings, queens, right? We have fallen from that. We, all over the country, all over the world, we only see ourselves as being in bondage. You have to go to, in order to empower yourself, you have to go to who you were before you were in bondage. To understand who you are. Right? You was a messenger of the Most High that you no longer even believe in. A messenger. Forget the kings, the queens. Get that. You was God's left hand and right hand man. Right? The Most High, the Creator, the Creatress. Left and right hand man. Yahweh. Right? Allah. Right? Like I said, I practice not one single religion. That's why I usually say the Most High. Because I don't exactly know what you call the Most High in African spirituality. The Creator, the Creatress. But that's who you was. So we have to get back to who we were. Because mentally, we were the chosen. We are the chosen ones. Forget we was the chosen ones. We are the chosen ones that forgot that we was the chosen ones. And the Most High is waiting for your arrival, of your awakening. Right? The Most High is waiting for the arrival of your awakening. When y'all gonna wake up for me? When you do, I'm going to equip you with all that you need to be equipped with. But I need enough of you here with me. And I'm sending you signs all across the world. And there's been many signs. You Aboriginal? There's been many signs of the manipulation of your oppressor. Trying to keep you in psychological bondage. By creating psychological, chemical, physical, intellectual, spiritual warfare against you. It's as simple as that. Very simple. And you can see it, but you're scared to see it. Right? Or you're so poisoned with this indoctrination that, I don't know. But you have to open that up to understand that you are the strongest being, and to understand that is to understand that if you see when others are faced with adversity, how quick they fold. What do you mean I'm not getting my way today?
These are the options. You can get out of the car, you can leave on your own accord, you can walk away, or you're going to end up going with us.
Get a judge or something. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Get a judge and a jury and take me to trial. Like, I don't really understand.
So
Mail me some papers. I mean, I don't know. Like, whatever the charges are. Like, let me know. Are you going to give me a ticket? Why don't you just give me a ticket?
Well, we could give you, but you have to get out of the car. That's the problem. So the main
Or a verbal warning? Be like, hey, please don't...
Do you know who I am? I'll have you know. I will call my father, who's the president of this company. What do you mean? You guys have been faced with trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma. And when you're hit with that same adversity, you say, that ain't nothing. Right? Or you say I can't get that? Bet. I'm not going to come back here. You don't like me because I'm black? You kicking me out because I'm black? Bet. You don't go home and say, they didn't like me. Everybody hates me. I didn't get my way today. Damn it. I always get my way. Don't do that because you have more sense than that. Because you've fought through more adversity than that. Because you are chosen. You have to understand that you have been fought. You have been faced with adversity higher than any people in the world. All over the world. From the Philippines, like I've said, from Egypt, ancient Egypt, to South Africa, to the Dominican Republic, to Louisiana, to Los Angeles, to New York City, to the Bahamas, to Haiti, to Burkina Faso, to Congo, to Sudan, to Ethiopia, to Palestine, for our brothers and sisters over there. And in Mexico, and the Aboriginals, the Aborigines, right? The untouchables in India, to the Idas, Melanesians, to the Sans people, and everywhere in between. Still you rise. How could you not see that? I'm confused. It's time to start seeing you've been faced with all this adversity and you should be defeated. Some of us are thriving, obviously, better than others. There's levels, right? Some of them are on the wealth level, right? A black job. What is a black job? Right? But you can't get fascinated with that because it's just a job at the end of the day. You guys are talking about that lady, our VP. Like she has control. She's in bondage. What are we talking about? You think she got that much power? Why? She has to do this. She should do this. She does not have all that power. Stop it. But you know who does? The person who put the people who are in power in the Supreme Court and elsewhere to help make decisions. See, when you control those who are the judges, right, who makes the final decisions, then you have power. That's power. When you are bringing and taking bills to the Supreme Court and they're saying, no, 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 no. Here goes an execution now. That's why it's great that Marcellus has that message. Because he could have gave us a message of defeat. Because Trump also executed people. And we never heard about that. But they threw Marcellus in your face. And what they don't realize is that we continue to rise. And I didn't really sulk. I was disheartened that they did that to our brother. But then I realized that he was sent by the Most High to deliver a message to his people. That we are strong. And we have faced adversity. And when we have faced adversity, we have conquered. So the only thing that we can do is continue to rise. And some of us are. So on an economic and a black job level, some people are rising. But I'm not talking about that because those people have no power. I'm talking about on a spiritual level where you can reach your ultimate freedom. And that's why I want these people that are over here to come over here with these people so that these people can rise. Because I might not economically be up here with you, but spiritually I have surpassed you. But if you came over here, then everybody rises just how their people have risen. How do you think that you're going to regain what's yours as a chosen people if you choose not to rise? But anywho, because I need to finish up, we need to rise, right? So that has to do with collaboration. We have to be able to collaborate with one another instead of beef with one another. There's too much hate and jealousy going on for me. I'm a basketball coach and a trainer, right? I have created something good for myself. It could be better, obviously, but we're growing as we're growing in spirituality. But God, people, I don't hate on nobody. You over there doing what you doing, I'm over here doing what I'm doing. There's enough kids out here to train. Now, I think that some of you guys are disingenuous because I think some of you guys are just doing it for the money. And I can't get with that. I'm more than just a trainer. All right, I'm a mentor. My job is to mentor the youth because I'm on a mission from the Most High. It's to touch as many lives as possible and help people ascend. So my mission is not the same as yours. You're just out here. Some of you are just out here trying to steal money, and some of you guys are just out here because to try to get money to do something, like to create a business. And I'm not mad at you for that, but have the right intentions. It's all about intentions to me. I'm not beefing with nobody. And then it's like the men thing too, like it's an ego. I don't have an ego. I just want you to be in this space and respect this space. Just like every player that I have, I want you to respect this space that we're in. And I want this space to help you rise beyond just an athlete, because I believe that entertainment is a part of, sometimes a part of the problem as well. But I want you to rise as a person. So that's my why. And then all the basketball knowledge that I have, because it's a lot, helps me accelerate my players, knowing that it's more psychological anyways. So we should be collaborating with one another if we respect one another, because I know that some of you see my work and each other's work, and you guys think that the work is good, but then you compare it to your work and then be like, oh, I'm better. This is why I'm better. And this is why I'm better. And this is why this, and this is why that. And then what happens is it doesn't become a healthy competition, right? Where you can still collaborate. It becomes you're hating. You can't collaborate with those who you're hating on. That's why I typically don't follow trainers. All right. And the ones that I do, I respect. Or I know. Right? And that's what it has to come to. And if you don't respect somebody's work, then you don't respect it. That's okay. Unless your work is hurting the kid, right? It should be in every industry. Unless it's hurting their potential and stunning their growth, then I don't have nothing to say. I don't really have this issue, honestly. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really have this issue, to my knowledge, because usually everything gets brought back. But I see others in every industry beefing with each other, and I'm just like, what is this? I don't understand this at all. Because Collaboration is better for the game. You don't think these kids are watching your energy? This energy that we're possessing is like, as adults, it's when we talk about leading the next generation, it's not a good representation of how one should conduct themselves. And that goes for like the healers and the conscious people and the Pan-African versus the Caribbeans versus these people versus those people versus the gang banging and the set tripping. That's not a good representation to the people that come beneath you. And then you'll get old, we'll all get old, and we'll all have to live in this world with these kids that we've created. We won't, and they'll be taking us out because they already have no respect. Oh, we need to collaborate for many reasons. But raising up the next nation is number one. And showing people that unity is better than division. And because unity is better than division, that is my last point and my final message. And really the only message to take. My purpose is to unite the people. Whether that be 50 people, 100 people, 20,000 people, 2 million people. And I'm not the only one on this mission. I see others just like me. And even when they're met with that adversity and that haterism, you can tell who's who. Yaki. I'm not really going to respond to negativity, he says, right? You can see that the negativity hurts the brother because he's on his journey and he's trying to rise. And you got other black folk trying to pull him down like a crab in a barrel. You guys have to stop that. It has to stop. Keys, 19 Keys. He brings many people on his shows that give different perspectives and intellects. And I think that the best job that he does is he navigates the conversation, but I think that he gives motivation in the way that he speaks and carries himself. Look at him. Militant. Beautiful brother. Always is trying to represent himself, like I said, with what you wear as well. And how you speak. And how you speak about your brother and how you speak about your sister. People who are intentionally not trying to throw dirt on people's names. That's unity. The fact that I'm stalling you out and not putting a public service announcement like you did me. Instead, giving you that grace that when I see you, we have a conversation. And I'm not having a conversation with everybody. I'm going to let you know that now. If there's not an apology to your actions, there's nothing for me to say to you. Because we all have to be accountable for our actions. Rule number 1. Oh, with that said, like I said, I like to leave with 5 cards. I think I'm only do 3 today, not 5 cards. It don't have to be 5, but a few cards from Black History flashcards. So I'm gonna read a few. Okay, we'll pick that. We'll pick that. Okay. And we'll pick that. Okay. Y'all, I'm telling you, the messages always come. The messages always come. Depending on how long this takes, I might give you 2 more. So which one of these do I want to do first? Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Queen Candace of Kush. Queen Candace of Kush. You feel me? 350 BCE. Let's see who Queen Candace of Kush could be. Also known as Kendrick, Queen Candace was an Ethiopian queen who ruled the kingdom of Kush. So some of y'all are Kushites, Hamites, Israelites. You see the difference of blackness. The name Candace was given by the Europeans to all queens of Ethiopia. The name Candace was given by the Europeans to all the queens of Ethiopia, but this queen had a special story. Legend says that her true name was Amonerinus, and not only was she a ruler, but also a fierce warrior. Which some of the queens was, like I said, women kings. I feel like I come from a warrior background. So the warriors, you feel me, don't have the type of fear that everybody else has. Understand that. We all have a role to play. Let's find our roles. Candace faced many great militaries and even positioned herself on top of a war elephant to battle Alexander the Greek. He is thought to have either settled with her or retreated. Queen Candace Amonerinus. Don't be laughing at me, y'all, because I can't get this lady's name. But look at her, right? Even after losing an eye in battle, Candace continued to fight against Rome and defeat nations that came up against Kush. Positive images. No fear. No retreat. Surrender, no retreat. What I tell y'all? I'm telling you these good cards. Blacks in ancient Greece. 5 BCE. The first Greek literature that mentions Black Greek was written in 5 BCE, but it is likely that people of African descent were present there before this time. Okay? Blacks was in Greece. Because Greece lies north, just north of Africa, African people, including Ethiopians, traveled there, and some lived there even though they were thought to be no large communities. Many ancient Greek paintings, pottery pieces, and works of art depict Black people that lived in or traveled to Greece. Going back to Native America in the ancient artifacts that had Black people maybe being from Africa or maybe just being American. I don't know. It depends, like I said, on what you subscribe to as far as origin story and the theories of evolution. Right? You got Hamites, Cushites, Israelites. You got the Capoids, the Congoids, and the Bushmen, which were also 3 different types of Negroid Black people. The Australoids. All right, your Melanesians and all those people. All right, Aborigines. Like, come on now. We was everywhere. We everywhere. Damn, they everywhere. Let's be real. That's probably what they like. Damn, they are everywhere. And they've been everywhere. Where did they come from? You mitochondrial Eves? Where did y'all come from, you ghost gene people? Where did you come from, you heavenly copper-colored aboriginals? Where did you guys come from? Damn it. You chosen people. One famous Black Greek was Memnon, the student of famous philosopher Herodes Atticus. See, history, you gotta learn so much when it comes to history. History is so infinite, y'all. It's so infinite. It's crazy. I love it though. I'd love to dive in. To find indigenous blacks in Greece today is rare, except in the village of Avato, where there are several families of African descent. All right. So for those, this could be a out of Africa theory. St. Augustine, November 13th, 354, August through August 28th, 430. Born in Africa and is also known as Augustine of Hippo. Throughout his life, he was a priest, bishop, and Catholic author. Through his writings, he helped influence Western philosophy and Western Christianity. Once he became baptized in Christianity, he started to establish the faith, helping develop the concept of original sin. Considered the greatest Christian thinker after the Apostle St. Paul and one of the Catholic Church's Latin fathers. Throughout his life, St. Augustine wrote dozens of books, two of which are The Confession and The City of God. I got to get that. I'm going to have to get that book. I got to get that book, y'all. And if y'all read that, let me know. Okay, got a couple more. Let's do two more. Oh, what's this? Oh, yeah. All right, two more. Because, yes, if it wasn't good, I was not going to pick it. All right, two more. Memnon. So we just... Memnon. Didn't we just say something about Memnon? Okay. One famous black Greek was Memnon, the student of the famous philosopher Herodes Atticus. So, how ironic is this is how much of the deck is left. How we would come up with Memnon. How ironic, right? The irony. King of Ethiopians, a lot of Ethiopians going on, right? I told you about the Ethiopians, so it's a lot of Ethiopians going on. Lucy was found in Ethiopia. Atostropophalicus, I think that's how you say that. I don't know. Fossil. King of Ethiopians in Greek mythology was fought in the Trojan War. Said to have great military skill and rank, he brought an army to Troy's defense against the Achaean invaders. During battle, Memnon was killed by the Greek hero Achilles. Okay? Zeus was a Greek god, noticed the tears of Memnon's mother Eos and became so moved by her emotion that he decided to make Memnon immortal. Zeus was a Greek god, noticed the tears of Memnon's mother Eos and became so moved by her emotion that he decided to make Memnon immortal. Myths say that the soldiers of Memnon's army were turned into birds known as Memnoids and would come to his grave every year to fight and weep over his grave. That's crazy. That's deep. The Dogons. That's a tribe. I know that. The Dogon. It's not a tribe. Well, is that considered a tribe? I don't know. The Dogons. The Dogons are an ethnic group living in the Central Plateau region of Mali in West Africa. They have their own system of astronomy, calendric measurements. Calendric, okay. They have their own system of astronomy, They have their own systems of astronomy, calendrical measurements that have been passed down through oral history. Right? Some things are passed down orally. Hopefully the message doesn't get disrupted. Right? The Dogon's ritual shows The Dogon's rituals show a strong sense of harmony. One important ritual involves women praising men, men thanking women, and the young expressing appreciation for the old, and in return, the old recognizing the contributions of the young, a value that we need to get back to. I respect you because you're a youth. I don't look at you like I'm above you, because there's things that I can teach you and there's things that you can teach me. Right? Men praising women and women praising men. I said that in my last episode. The man doesn't have to always be the servant, and the woman doesn't always have to be the servant. Right? We're all bringing something to the table, and we're all thankful for one another. The 1976 Robert K. Temple book claims that the Dogon knew that Sirius is a part of a binary star system and had knowledge of its second star, Sirius B, a white dwarf completely invisible to the human eye. The West only made this discovery centuries later with telescopes and modern equipment. Special people were these Mali Dogon people. And that book was Robert K.G. Temple book, The Sirius Mystery, which is another book or something that we need to add to our collection. So here I will show you the cards. You got your Dogons, Memnon, Queen Candace of Kush, St. Augustine, Blacks in Ancient Greece, and I think that was the last one. Back to the Dogons. That is all that I have for you all today. Thank you for coming. Thank you for visiting. Thank you for all your comments and support. I love each and one of you, no matter what part of your journey you are on. I hope that we all continue to rise as a people. Thank you to the ancestors for helping me communicate my message thoroughly and accurately to the people. Hopefully they receive this message and deliver this message to someone else and help rise our nation. That is all I have for my people. And I leave you with this. May we rise, may we collaborate, may we love and heal as a nation. May we defeat our enemies. Ashe.